Great adjustment, and Bonner able to pull it in.
Toward the back corner. What a catch! Wow. Touchdown! He might have snagged that one one-handed.
He did.
What a night for Linell Bonner.
Ward gets out of there, throws it downfield. It's caught as he inbounds. Yes! Wow, what a catch!
Yo, what's going on, family? It's your host, Linell Bonner, here with the first episode of Athlete Aftermath. And today we got a very special guest on our podcast today. Former teammate of mine, my brother,
neighbor.
Man, he's done some amazing things, man. From sports to now being an entrepreneur. I've watched this guy work tremendously hard, from going to being a walk-on over at University of Houston to earning a scholarship to being a starter to making a name for himself. Now has his own podcast as well, his own brand as well. He's also a motivational speaker. Without further ado, my brother, Linell Bonner, also known as Trey. What's going on, man? How you doing, man? You all right?
My brother, I'm good. One more hop, I'll be on top.
Oh yeah, I like that.
One more hop,
I'm gonna have to use that.
I stole it from somebody on their podcast. I said, hold on now.
I like that one. I'm gonna have to use that one. Y'all look for that coming. Look for that coming. So what's going on, man? How you doing, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. Just made a major decision pretty recent. I really can't disclose it just yet. I would love to, but
okay.
Made a pretty major decision, and it's going well, man. God is great. God is great
all the time.
Oh, come on now.
All the time.
Come on now.
Nah, man. So you know what Athlete Aftermath is about, huh?
Yep.
You know what it's about. We're here to talk about athletes and their transition from their sport to now being living their everyday lives.
Yep.
So with that, man, just talk to me a little bit about your transition, man. And was it easy? Was it hard? Why or why not? You know what I mean? As far as your transition, man, what was the difficulty level of your transition from ball to now being in your everyday life?
So I was blessed, but it wasn't easy at all. When I left the sport, well, I got cut.
Okay.
So most people can resonate with that story if you went professional. I got cut. And when I got cut, I was in a dark place. I was pretty depressed. I didn't realize it until I got out of it.
Okay.
And now looking back on it, I was resorting to all the things that most young men resort to when they're lost. I was smoking, drinking, partying, having sex with women and all that. And I didn't realize that I was walking in depression. I didn't understand mental health. But I got an opportunity to work for Merrill Lynch and Bank of America as a financial advisor, which prompted me to turn my life around, and inevitably I turned my life to Christ, and the rest is history. But that transition wasn't easy, bro. Like, I was lost. Like, I really was lost. And I understand when I hear people say they want to commit suicide, or people who are all Americans that's not doing nothing but selling drugs now. And I understand it because I was lost too.
Yeah, that's huge. Nah, man, and it's just crazy that you even say that, man, because I oftentimes come across posts all the time, man, just talking about, cats that played at the highest level, and went through the same thing you went through. I mean, also I went through the same thing as well. I was cut as well, by the Los Angeles Rams, due to injury. And I just know when guys go through that, and I've kind of talked about it, numerous times, but we give our whole lives to a sport, man, for it to maybe not go as you plan, and it consumes your life. It becomes an obsession.
Yeah.
To the point where nothing else really matters but football. But then when that's taken from you, when that's slid from under your feet, man,
then what?
It can play a big toll on people's mental, man. So what I was getting at, I've seen plenty of posts, man, from guys, like I said, the top level, man, that made a bunch of money, and once football is taken away from them, they don't know what else to do.
Yep.
So, man, that's
just to hit on that a little bit. I literally had a presentation yesterday at Klein High School at their banquet, and I talked to their basketball team, and with the parents and coaches, everybody was there. And one thing that I mentioned to them was a conversation that I had with a college coach. And I asked the college coach, what's the one reoccurring thing from your ex-athletes that they experienced? And he literally looked in my eyes and told me, they're lost.
Okay.
And that's a coach that's been coaching for 38 plus years.
Yeah, so
This is the reoccurring thing.
He knows.
But like you just hinted at, it's because we put our identity in the sport. What was meant to be a vehicle to get us to the destination that God had already planned for us, we make it the destination. Like I told kids this before, you wouldn't buy a Bentley just to live in it.
Mm-hmm.
A Bentley's to get you there. It gets you there exquisitely. It looks nice. Like football looks nice to play to get you a destination, but it's not the destination.
100%.
But we put it as a destination. So when you take something from somebody they wrap their identity in it, you're trying to find who you are, but you never knew who you were. So now you're just lost trying to figure it out, going with the wrong crowd, going with the wrong flow because it feels right, but it's not right because it's not you and you never knew who you were.
And that's crazy because I oftentimes say how, those dark times that we talk about, those are those times that create that identity for you. Those are those times where you're able to find yourself in those dark moments, So man, oftentimes this, they talk about storms, and how in those storms, you get blessings out of those storms. You go through those storms, on the other side of it is a blessing, man. I think I mentioned this before, but yeah, it's just crazy how that works, though, man. Like I said, how those dark times just create that identity for you. You're able to find, who you are in those times, man. But okay, we were gonna talk about darkest moments anyway, so it's crazy we brought that up. Okay, so
I don't ease. I go right into it.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But no. So okay, what are some mental barriers you feel like you had to overcome as far as through that transition, man? What are some things you had to dodge? Oftentimes. A huge word that's always used, and honestly, guys, look for me to really say this word often on this podcast. But the word adversity.
Yeah.
Adversity. The thing. What is it that made you resilient? To weave through those barriers and through those obstacles, man. Through that transition.
So my journey taught me how to be resilient. Just to give y'all a summary of my backstory, I was the kid that didn't get on varsity in high school till senior year. So if you know how football works, if you don't get on varsity sophomore or junior or freshman year, scouts not looking at you.
Usually it's too late.
They look over you, it's too late.
Yeah, usually it's too late.
You get your offer in junior year. Yeah. So if you didn't get on there by junior year, it's kind of hard. So I was sending my film to coaches. I would go to
doing the groundwork yourself.
I would go, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I would go to the roster, get the coach's email, and just send a bulk message to them, hoping that I got somebody to take a shot on me.
Yeah,
that didn't work. I got an opportunity to walk on to PV or the University of Houston. I chose University of Houston, and it's actually kind of weird because I was thinking this way as a kid. I was 17 years old. The reason I chose U of H is because I grew up black. Elementary school, black middle school, black high school, and all of my classmates were going to PV or TSU, and there's no knock on them. But I knew that what God put in my heart, what God was going to lead me to do, I need to know how to be well versed with everybody. That's the Asians, that's the Hispanics, that's the whites, that's everybody. So if I went to
one of the diverse
exactly, bro.
Out there,
so if I go to PV, I'm just gonna get used to dealing with my people.
Yeah.
But I want to learn how to deal with everybody. So that's why I chose University of Houston.
Okay.
And when I got there, PV was gonna give me some money. They were gonna give me pay for my books. I mean, that's like $200, but they pay for my books though.
Man, money is money, regardless of how much it is. I mean, yeah.
Exactly. So I get to U of H and I go to the coach and ask for a scholarship. I ain't gonna say the coach's name.
Yeah.
But I asked for the scholarship, and I wasn't surprised when he told me no in kind of a joking manner, but it put a chip on my shoulder, and that right there is adversity, especially for an 18-year-old kid who's betting on himself, who did all the work, who stayed after practice every day, who stayed in the street throwing the ball, who didn't cheat, and you being told no, not even getting an opportunity. I can see if he said, if you do this, if you do that, you'll be good. He didn't give me nothing. He just said no.
Yeah.
That's just saying I don't believe in you at all.
So you had to find your way.
So yeah, I grinded that same semester. I earned a scholarship. He called my high school coach and told him that they were about to offer me. A week before that, a couple of days before my coach called me, I blew my knee out. So I had surgery.
That was the first time.
And I'm laying in my parents' bed recovering. And my coach calls me happy, like, you just earned a scholarship. And I had to sober him up and tell him, like, hey, man, I just blew my knee. Like, no, they ain't gonna pull that. And they pulled it. And then from that, they treated me like a ghost. Like, I remember walking down the hallway and coaches would walk by me. I'm like, what's up, coach? The same coaches that was on me.
Yeah.
Like, proud. "What's up, coach?" They just walk right by me. Multiple times, just walk right by me to where they didn't even tell. They told me I didn't have to come to meetings. I didn't have to go to workout. I didn't have to go to film study. I didn't have to get. I didn't have to do nothing. I was essentially a student that had the gear of a football player.
That's crazy.
So I'm 18 years old dealing with depression now. Don't even understand mental health. Don't even know that I'm going through that. I resort to smoking, messing with women, drinking, partying, and basically just living my college lifestyle. Like, so I come back from that. Herman gets there, and when Herman gets there, if you remember, I was always on the loaf board. Okay, but I was coming back from the injury, so I'm not 100%.
For those who don't know, a loaf is when you get caught slacking, man. When you get caught kind of what do they call it?
Not finishing through the line.
Not finishing through the line, lazy, man. Kind of tiptoeing. These are all definitions or antonyms of the word loaf. So that kind of gives you, a visual of what a loaf is. But I got you. You was on a loaf board, but you were injured, so that makes sense.
But they didn't care.
Yeah.
They put that orange shirt on me and said, "Don't do it again." You know what I mean? So I'm going through that.
Orange shirts were crazy.
You remember that?
Orange shirts was crazy.
And I had to eat the runny eggs and all that stuff. It was bad. But in that same season, while I'm loafing, and I haven't even done that on the field, I remember asking Coach Maringer, "What do I got to do to get a scholarship?" But he gave me what I need to do. He gave me the keys. He said, if you become a backup on special teams, a backup at receiver, because I was dead last. If you become all this and you actually attribute, we'll give you a scholarship and you can change your number from 48 to 15. I'm like, shoot, you gave me something I can work with. I can do that.
Man, I wanted 15 so bad.
I didn't want 15. I wanted 8.
Okay.
But Hunter McCoy had 8.
Okay.
And
see, Garrett had 15 already, and it was as a freshman. They were trying to put both of us on special teams, so it wasn't gonna work out like that. But
I didn't want 15.
Man, that's all good, man. 15 was my number in high school.
We could have 82. I wasn't taking 82 though.
Hey, but I made 82 look good. But I'm just saying, man. But no, so okay.
So then I earned it.
Okay.
And from Herman, I earned that scholarship from Herman, and the rest is history. But to answer your question, what happened that taught me how to persevere in life is all of the stuff I went through. Like I just told the kids yesterday, I didn't learn much when I was on top of my game. Like
that's usually when you don't.
You're being praised. You're being looked at differently. You're entitled now. You got people catering to you. That's not when you learn who you are. You know what I mean? I learned who I was when I was told no. When people were turning their back to me. When people literally were in my ear telling me, "You're not going to come back from this injury." That's who I found out who I was, because I could have easily subscribed or submitted to what they said I was going to do.
When you're at the bottom, man.
But I grinded and I got out. And I'm doing the same thing now.
Yeah. So it has applied to your everyday life.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Transitions are tough. Stories are beautiful, but lessons last a lifetime. That's the
hey man, you keep
athlete, man. Come on,
keep it up. But I'm about to start taking notes, man. All right, man, with the quotes, man. I'm about to take notes.
Came up with that when I was on the toilet.
I like this man here. Oh man,
on the toilet.
Oh,
Kirk Franklin said he come up with his gospel songs butt naked on the piano. Yeah. I was on the toilet butt naked, so I kind of resonate with that. You know what I mean?
Man, so the toilet. Now, I guess that is your long time, man. Okay. All right, man. So we already hit on darkest moments, man. We already hit on whether it was easy or not for you. Man, tell me about those people, man, that were in your life that got you through those tough times, man. Who are some important people that was in your corner, you know what I'm saying, the whole time to help you keep going too? Because obviously we know that when you're going through things, you it's usually not good to do things on your own.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Whether you're talking to God and you know God's with you, or you're talking about somebody worldly, you know what I'm saying, that's in your corner as well. Usually it's not a good thing to go through things by yourself. Exactly. So who are some of those people that were in your corner, man, that helped push you forward to keep going through, you know what I'm saying? Because you've been through a lot, bro. Yeah. I mean, you've been through a lot, bro. Everybody can't say that they were a walk-on and earned a scholarship. Not only just earning the scholarship, but you played and started, bro, and you did some amazing things, you know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I'm going to just bring up a very, very vivid memory of mine. You made ESPN.
About 5 times.
We're gonna talk about the one. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about the one, the catch. I'm gonna bring up a picture of it. We're gonna talk about the catch though. The
one hand or sideline?
The one hand.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You made Sports Center number one, I believe. That like 2 weeks in a row almost.
It was.
You know what I'm saying? So you've done some amazing things, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you, like I said, you've been through a lot and you persevered. And like I said, I'm witness to be able to see, you know what I'm saying, this as a teammate and as a brother, bro. But who were some of those people, man, that was in your corner that helped you push you forward and helped slingshot you forward? Because, you know, you took some steps back.
Yeah.
That doesn't always mean, you know what I'm saying, it's the end of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's God just pulling you back to slingshot you forward. You know what I'm saying? So, again, who are some of those important people, man, that was in your corner?
It's interesting. Like when I hear people say in your corner, my first thing I think about is boxers. It's at first I was like boxer. If you think about it, you know, people you probably already know this, but if you're a boxer, you're in the ring and it's you versus your opponent. Mm-hmm. It's you versus your opposition. It's you versus what you're going through, your adversity.
Yeah.
But you have a corner that's seeing things different from you. Perspective. So you're intimate with what you're going through. Mm-hmm. So it's good to have people around you that see it from a different perspective, a different standpoint. Hey, try this. Hey, try this jab. Hey, duck right here. He's doing a 1-2, and then you go out there and do it. You can become successful.
Let me find out you know a little bit of boxing.
Come
on
now. All right. You know, and if you don't do it, you keep getting beat. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for me, my corner would be my nuclear family. Would be my mom, dad, and sisters. Like they've always been in my corner. And it's funny because
every game too.
Every game. And it's funny because I was just having a conversation with my wife, and then I talked to my mom about it. My wife gets on me when I have speaking engagements. She always questions like, why don't you invite your family? Mm. And I was like, I don't know. Like I don't feel like I'm where you want to be. I'm a be yet. Like I'm still, when I'm out there, I'm still even getting comfortable being fully me. Like even though I'm just, you know, out there, I can care less about what people think. Like I'm gonna go out there and do my best, but I know it's a side of me that's not out yet. Mm-hmm. Like when I have a conversation one-on-one or when I'm talking to a crowd of 300, 400, it's different. Yeah. And you have to get it's a skill that you have to continue to work. And I feel like once I get to that point, then I'm good. But I talked to my mom about it, and she was like, and my sisters, they were like, you were the same way when you were a kid. When you were a kid, you used to tell us, y'all don't gotta come to the games. Yeah. And I don't know why, bro. It was like, y'all don't have to come to the game. Y'all can come, but you know, if y'all don't come, I'm good. Yeah. And I don't know why I was like that, but they always, you know, they understood it, but they always supported me in everything I did. I was one call away, but they never missed a game. They didn't listen to me. Yeah. Usually they still come regardless, yeah. But so my family, they understood it. Like my parents were very open to everything I was going through. Yeah. You know, a lot of parents I know, you 18, I got the house. And you know, even though parents say that, at 18, I was a walk-on, so I'm in Houston. I'm driving to campus, so I'm staying with them. You know, I had to follow their rules, which is hard, but they supported that. They understood that. They knew I was going to get on scholarship. Like they knew. They saw me out in the street with Austin Garrett, rest in peace, throwing the football for 4 to 5 hours a day, just catching it. Like they knew what I was doing. They knew my grind. They knew I was on the field down the street at the park working. So they knew what was going to come. It was just a matter of time, a matter of when. So my parents helped me through all that. My parents and my sisters being understanding, being people I can talk to and vent to. But right now, currently in life, on top of my family or with my family is my wife. She's truly a blessing from God, bro. Like truly a blessing. And I attempt to say that every time I can because I'm thankful for who she is and
it shows.
The lady that God brought her up to be. Because it's some things that if I were to say it, people would probably make a face like, crazy. What? She said what? She did what? It's like, yeah, bro, like,
yeah. She's different.
Like her support is different. Like I haven't felt that. Like even though our family supports us, but they're more intimate with the decisions. Like my parents, if I tell my parents, hey, I'm finna quit my job, put my 401k, buy this property, and then I'm just gonna have this income from my property, come in, pay for my house, and then I'm gonna do this XYZ. My dad gonna look at me crazy. Why don't you quit your job? Don't you do this? Because they don't want your kid to be a failure. They're looking at it from an intimate point. Whereas if I go talk to a mentor, if I go talk to someone who's not, you know, intimate with my decision, they're gonna tell me logically. They're gonna ask me questions. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this?
Have a plan?
Do you have a plan? Yeah. They're not gonna come with the, you know. So she's on both sides of that.
So let me touch on that just a little bit, because that's obviously that's a little bit of, you know, that's societal norms too, or just, you know, the way that our parents were raised as well.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, this generation that we're in, man, a lot of people don't want to work for anybody. A lot of people want to make their own money. Not saying that that's, you know, I understand. But that's our generation. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We live in a generation where everybody's trying to make their own way, trying to make their own business. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's creating businesses these days, and our parents, the way that they came up, and I think I think your parents are a little older than my parents,
70,
but
old as hell.
okay, you ain't have to say it like that. Old as a mindset, man.
He
Don't
saw
do that.
Jesus walk.
Don't do that, man. Old as a mindset, man. But nah, so our parents grew up a totally different way where, it's normal to work until you're 60
Yeah, and retire.
and retire, you know what I'm saying? And we live in a generation where,
I'll get it right now.
bro, ain't nobody doing that no
trying to
more.
wait
And
till
it's not
60.
some people are with the instant gratification, but some people are also learning, like, even with instant gratification, like, it's not gonna get you far. You know what I'm saying? That's short term money. Like, that's fast money. Fast money usually not good money. But a lot of people in our generation as well are just trying to create wealth for, that next generation as well. But our parents before us didn't have that mindset, you know what I'm saying? And I think my mom says it like quite often. She's like, y'all generation, like, y'all are just creative. Y'all go out there and, put money aside, and, y'all are risky.
Yeah.
And a lot of people,
that's true.
Our parents weren't in the risky business. You know what I'm saying? They weren't finna risk, the safety of this, for a long-term goal. It's all about safety. So we're gonna keep ourselves in this box. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? But keeping yourself in that box, to
Provide for your family.
provide and make sure everything's straight. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, once you do have a family and everything, you can't put your family in that position. You can't be too risky. You can only risk so much. Especially when you start a family, you have a family now. You know what I'm saying? You now have mouths to feed, so you can't do that anymore. But just touching on that, man, like I said, just I know the generation that we live in, man. So I know that's probably why they would look at you like, quit your job, like what?
Yeah.
But if you do have a plan in place, man, I feel like there's nothing wrong with it. And sometimes it takes you to, like I would always talk about the no rule. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get to so many no's until you get to that 1 yes, and that 1 yes is gonna be worth all those no's you went through.
I heard someone say on Instagram recently, she was like, if you knew it took you a million no's to get you to that yes, you'll be happy with the first no. You'll go out there and find the first no.
Going.
And you're gonna keep going. So if you have that mindset, you know what I mean, you'll change your outcome. But I'll say one thing about the wealth and the risk and all that. I recently stumbled upon Matthew in the Bible, Matthew chapter 13.
Okay.
If you're familiar with that, they talk about the parable of the sower. So just to give you a quick, brief rundown of the parable, you have the seed that lands on shallow ground, the seed that lands on thorns, and the seed that lands on good soil. So the seed that lands on shallow ground sprouts fast, but since the roots couldn't get deep, it's burnt by the sun.
No foundation.
The seed that lands on the thorns is choked out by the thorns. The seed that lands on good soil produces 30, 60, 100 times more. So to even go deeper, Jesus said the seed that lands on shallow ground is the person who hears the word, who is happy, but doesn't apply the word, so it's burnt out.
Okay.
The seed that lands on the thorns is the person who hears the word, who's happy about the word, but the deceitfulness, get this, the deceitfulness of wealth and the worries of this world causes the seed to be unfruitful. And then the seed that lands on good soil is the person who hears the word, applies the word, and he gets 30, 60, 100 times more than what he
Let's go back
applied.
to the seed that lands on a thorn, about that person. Kind of elaborate more on that. That's interesting that you even bring it up. Kind of elaborate more on that person that falls on the thorn.
So if you think about this world, what are most people motivated by?
Money. 100%.
Who made the money? Especially the currency we use.
People in general.
People.
Yeah.
Right. So we're worried about our worldly money and the worries of this world. First of all, the worries that we have most times comes from the generations above us or people around us. So if I subscribe to something that my dad said because he went through it, he's just trying to protect me. He has the best intent behind it, but it can stop me from what God wanted me to do.
I'd also be projecting his fears on you from
Exactly.
his experience.
Exactly.
You haven't even experienced it yet.
It's pulling me away from my purpose that God wants me to walk in.
Okay.
So that's the worries of this world, and then the deceitfulness of money. So you think that making a lot of money makes you somebody? Nah, that's just man currency. God's currency is different.
See what's crazy when you say that, man. Thinking about people, going back to the mental health aspect, man. People like, a legend that we all grew up on, Robin Williams.
About to say Lil Wayne.
Nah. A legend that we all grew up on, Robin Williams, man. He was a legend, bro, in almost every cartoon that you can name. He was a voice actor in almost every cartoon you can name.
You about to judge me? Who the hell is Robin Williams?
Okay, so wow, y'all hear this right? God doesn't know who Robin Williams is. Robin Williams, the original Aladdin. Okay, Flubber. You ever seen the movie Flubber?
I'm trying to ring him, but I can't ring a bell.
Okay, you ever seen Jumanji, the original?
Oh, that white dude?
So
Is he white?
yeah,
With the curly hair?
the main guy, the main
Didn't he
character.
wasn't he on Osmosis Jones?
He was no, that's two
That's
totally
that's
different. That's two totally
that's
different people.
Space.
Well, yeah, he was on Space Jam, but
Space.
Robin Williams. Okay, Mrs.
Ah,
Doubtfire.
I know
You ever seen Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
So Robin Williams, he was.
Space Jam.
I can no. The guy that you're talking about that was Osmosis Jones was in Space Jam.
I'm gonna go Google him later.
So Mrs. Doubtfire, you seen that movie?
No.
Did you watch TV growing up, bro?
Bro, I was outside, bro.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay. So maybe I need to take.
I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm just gonna look at
Robin
Williams.
Not that you had to look it up in the middle, but go ahead.
My bad, bro.
You don't know.
Oh yeah, I know who that is. Yeah. I'm not good with names. I'm a face guy. I know exactly who that is. Yeah.
Okay, so getting back to my point, man. So Robin Williams, man. Robin Williams is a legend that he was in a lot of movies that we grew up on.
Yeah.
But he had all the riches in the world, bro. He made a lot of money.
Yep.
But this is also a guy that committed suicide due to not being happy. So that also goes back to saying, you know, a lot of people, you know, they say money brings me happiness. You know, money can buy you happiness. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes there's pieces in people's life that are missing besides just money. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you got money, all your bills are paid, but then like there's still holes to fill. And if you can't find those holes to fill and you're mentally weak, I would say. And I'm only gonna say that because I want to be careful with the way I word it and the way I say it, but in my personal opinion, and you know, this is just how I feel. When people commit suicide, it's a part of them that are mentally weak. And I'm saying that again just from my understanding of it. You know, some people go through things that I've never been through, so I can never say that I wouldn't do those things in that aspect or that from their perspective of going through things or their experiences. Can't say I would never do that, but me being the mentally tough person that I am, yes, I've been through depression before as well. I've been sad as hell. You know, I've been in dark places as well. But I can't see myself, you know, taking my life just because of all of the people that are around me, man. That either count on me or believe in me. I got a daughter, Layla. Mostly everybody knows her, but you know, she needs me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I have people that need me. I have people that are counting on me to do things. You know, so from my experience, I just feel like it's kind of mentally weak to take your own life. And you're also basically telling God He made a mistake of giving you life. You know what I'm saying?
I think that if you subscribe to the lies of the enemy, it makes them do that. So a lot of people, even if they have kids, you hear them say they'll be better off without me.
Which is crazy.
So that means that they subscribe to a voice in their head that was telling them,
yeah,
hey, they'll be better off without you. That's not the voice of God. That's the enemy. So if they subscribe to that and then they start to believe it to be true, then they act on it. So I mean, that's just one of them things. Is like you really don't know who. Like I know, bro. So being an advisor, you hear so much stuff.
We got you an advisor too. Okay,
So you hear so much stuff. You hear so much. Like I done heard clients, people's daughters, you know, people even closer than that, not at home, but just like in my work field that tried to commit suicide, bro. Like and one of them hit me so
you would have never known.
Yeah, because they said it to me. They're like, I'll be good. It'd be better if I wasn't here. And you know, us,
you gotta listen to.
We just like she not finna go do nothing. Like, you know, you think you got more time. Like some of y'all might heard someone say that before. Same day.
Yeah, usually. So that's the thing too. So me being a firefighter as well as an EMT, you know, those type of that type of dialogue when people talk like that, I would say definitely you have to always take it seriously, man, because you never know what that person is really going through and what that person is really capable of. You know, because it's all just say until it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Then it's no longer say. Now the action's already done and it's too late. You know what I'm saying? So if you ever hear anybody talking with that dialogue,
get help.
You know, please try to get them help. Or if you're having that dialogue in your mind, man, please get help. the world will not be better off without you. Usually that's not the case at all. Unless you're just some murderous, chump out there just murdering people.
You turn around still.
You still can. That's still honestly. Even with that being said, man, every sin is equal, man. But even with that being said, man, just the world would not be better off without you, man. So that thought ever crosses your head, man. That's entirely not true.
That's not God. That's the enemy.
Yeah, man.
I'm telling you, it's the enemy.
That's worldly talk.
But when we don't even understand as a people, for the most part, I'm not gonna make this sweeping comment that we don't understand, because there's gonna be someone watching like, no, I understand.
100%.
But yeah. as a people, just for the most part, from people when I have conversation or dialogue with, they don't even understand that it says in the Bible we're not in a battle of flesh. This is of spirits.
Spiritual battle.
We are in spiritual warfare daily. From the very moment you wake up in the morning, you're going through spiritual warfare. When you put that song on, bro, it's an intent behind everything that's out there. So you putting the song on, what spirit head are you feeding? Are you feeding the kingdom of the devil, or are you feeding the kingdom of God? You have a choice in that, but we don't really recognize the power of our choice. We just think that, it has a cool beat. I said the same thing until my mentor got on me about it.
Hey, and besides life, the power of decision, the power of choice is the most powerful power that God has given us.
Yep, willpower, because He gave it to us.
The power of choice, man, because it's crazy, because that one decision can change the course of the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? So decisions. That's
what I talk about now,
man. The power of choice, man. That's the greatest superpower that's been given to human beings, man.
You got them every day. You wake up with a choice and a chance. Jay Prince said that on the podcast. You wake up with a choice and a chance. We just end up making the wrong ones. So but I talk about, that's your
stilo.
That's what I talk about now.
That's your stilo.
When I go on stage, most times I didn't even realize all of my speeches was aligned with me talking about choices, until God put in my heart, like, that's what I want you to talk about, is choices, because you are where you are right now because of the choices you made. You are where you are in your relationship with me, God, because the choices I made, bro. I went abstinent 2 years and 7 months, which is 926 days of nothing. But I wouldn't change it, bro. Like, I wouldn't change that at all, bro. Like, I have a couple of brothers now that have, really dove in with their relationship with God and went abstinent, bro. And they can attest to this. The first 6 months of me being abstinent, bro, I feel like I've developed 6 years mentally. Like, my mindset just shot up.
You were putting your mind towards other things besides that.
Sexual transmutation, bro.
Okay.
That's a real thing. Go Google it. Sexual transmutation, but it's real. So I put my mindset in developing a relationship with God. What purpose does He want me to do? Why am I here? And then just personal development, and then building a relationship around me that can withstand the adversities of this world, so my corner can be stronger.
Talking about that corner.
You know what I'm saying? But that came off of a choice, because God presented the opportunity. We have willpower. Like, God presents a relationship with Him. You have a choice to either take it or hang up on Him.
Yeah.
He presented, hey, if you do this, I'll bring X, Y, Z to you. Because this is a big decision. Because it was cold turkey. I had just it was cold turkey. Like, it wasn't like, no, all right, I'm gonna do one more. It was like, nah, I want you to do this right now.
Yeah.
But like I tell my brother, God wants you now. Like, the longer that you wait to answer that call, the more that Satan or the enemy is pulling that person that you need to talk to away from God.
Yeah.
Because your destiny is attached, or your purpose is attached to someone else's destiny. It's not just you. We think selfishly.
Yeah.
Me walking my walk, I can convict somebody, and I just come in contact with them and share my testimony. Like, oh wow, I felt the same call. But what if I was walking the same walk I was walking with, doing all this stuff with women? Now I'm enabling them to continue to not listen to the call, because it's attached, bro. We're all one body.
Man, that's crazy that you even say that, because obviously, a lot of people also say that things happen for a reason. Everything is correlated, and everything does happen for a reason. Honestly, I mean, a huge part of this podcast, I told you about it. The purpose of this podcast, and I've touched on it a little bit, but I want to touch on it a little more. The purpose of this podcast is to literally get people's testimony of how they became successful. Get people's story of how they became successful, and get those tidbits that they that they did within that journey to help them get to where they are now. One person's testimony can obviously be the blueprint to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And have not gone through a struggle, or are going through a struggle right now. One thing that this platform, the purpose of this platform, is to get those testimonies out, man, and to give those answers to people that are going to be tested out there. To give those answers out to you, so you can kind of know what to do in the midst of those experiences that you're gonna have, because everything has to come to an end. So when it comes to your sport that you're playing, you're not gonna play that sport forever. It's gonna have to come to the end. But when it comes to an end, you haven't reached that purpose yet. That point yet in your career or in your life. But once that time comes, man, it's never an easy time. It never is. So again, the purpose of this platform is just to just give those answers out, man, to people that are gonna go through this, man.
Mm-hmm.
But and I'm glad we're here, man. I'm glad we're here. God definitely brought us here for a reason. And kind of going back to what you said, just walking with God, you're gonna touch a bunch of lives, you know what I'm saying? And I think honestly, I feel like me, before I leave this earth, one thing that I want to say that, I want to be able to say is that I touched as many lives as possible in a positive way before I leave this earth, so that's another reason when I come to suicide and, the mental health aspect of things, when it comes to even just being mentally tough, I know I have a lot to live for because I need to continue to touch people in a positive way, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like the more good you put in the world, the more blessings come your way. And it's not even for the blessings, it's not even saying that you're doing it for the blessings that's gonna come your way. But honestly, man, when you love seeing people happy, you love seeing people do good, it brings you a happy feeling, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're in the right place, man.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that you mentioned spiritual warfare, because I feel like, everybody's gonna say that they're God's chosen one, and there's they're God's one, you know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody is.
We all are chosen.
We all are chosen for different purposes as well. So, but it's crazy.
Just like you be chosen by God, you can be chosen by the enemy too.
And that's why I was going to get to that. So even you saying the moment your feet hit the ground, the moment your eyes open in the morning, the moment your feet hit the ground, the enemy is after you. The devil is after you. You know what I'm saying? And so those decisions are very important that you're going to make on a daily basis. It's very important, man, because like you said, it's always going to be how they always show on the cartoons when you have that person on the left, you got that person on the right. That conscience kind of talking to you. It's always going to be a voice in your head that's telling you to do the wrong thing versus one that's going to tell you to do the right thing. It's going but
and whichever one you feed is the one that'll win,
man. So it's crazy that you even mentioned spiritual warfare, man, because I feel like those people that
we don't, bro, think about it. We are under media of really the government, but mass media, because what they approve is the only thing that we can consume. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna let anything air that they don't want, that they haven't. You know what I mean? That hits on topics that they don't want out there. But if you think about it with music, the beat, you know, the 808s and the hurts and all that stuff, bro. All that does is open your spirit, and the words that's coming behind that is impregnating you, and you're gonna conceive that baby. So if you're listening to music talking about, I'm gonna treat women this way, I'm gonna look at women this way, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna sell. I ain't gonna say 9 times in, but it's a big chance that's how you're gonna operate. It's a big chance.
That's also a decision too, as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
But it's a big chance. But if you listen to music, like, so I stopped listening to rap. I couldn't tell you no music. Only time I hear rap nowadays is if I'm on Instagram. I don't even radio on Instagram, and someone have a song. Like,
sometimes you turn on the car. I'm saying you sometimes you turn on the car, the radio going.
I got the aux, and it's on 92.1. So if I'm not, but most time I drive with no music anyway.
Yeah, that's honestly when you deep in your thoughts too. For sure, I'm already knowing. I'm already knowing
music, but I err on listening. It's funny how my transition went. So I gave up rap. And I started listening to Christian rap if I needed a beat, but I like slow jams. I used to live to Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, he used to have us in the locker room.
Yeah, I'm slow jams. So I was listening to that.
Yeah.
But then I realized, like, that's still secular music. So I started transitioning. My wife got me on. She was like, you need to give up all that and listen to gospel. and I started listening to gospel, bro, and it changed everything. Now, if I do listen to music outside of gospel, it's jazz, but jazz don't have no words, so I got my own thoughts. It's
Okay.
like, you know what I mean? Whatever thoughts I want to think, I'm thinking it.
Yeah.
Now, they're not telling me what to think, you know. But it is a warfare thing, bro. That the stuff you watch on a daily, you know, what's your algorithm like? What movies are you watching? Like certain movies, if you look at the symbolism in the movies, like I watched Black Adam, and I was hesitant to watch it because The Rock in one thing called himself the Savior. So I'm like, that's a parallel, you know. You trying to call yourself Jesus, one Savior of the world. So then, as I watched the movie, I'm not gonna get too deep into this. You know, me and my wife had these deep conversations, but the guy, the villain of the movie,
I'm interested in
he
seeing what's
has
going
the
on.
upside down. I think it's a pentagram, like the upside down
He got
star
horns as well. He
and the
look like the
horn.
devil.
And then they literally
red.
said that the thing had all 7 demons, and it was like, bro, this is if you're not strong or see that it's a spiritual realm and that it's demonic presences, like this can easily impregnate you the wrong way. Like I'm gonna say one more thing, bro, about this topic, because this was interesting, because this was a producer that told me this, like a producer from Hollywood.
Okay.
So this guy told me, he was like,
name no names.
I ain't gonna name no names. I ain't gonna tell you when I met him, but this was probably, I ain't gonna tell you when I met him.
That's cool.
But he told me, he was like, every movie comes from either a real life experience or something that someone else experienced on the road. Like most movies come from experience. And you think it's interesting when he says that, I'm gonna say two stories that made sense to me. As soon as he said that, I thought about the Epstein Island. If you think about the Epstein Island, what I correlated to was Monsters Inc. You know, I say Epstein, the higher ups go there and they drink the kids' blood and gives them energy, keeps them young, whatever they got going on.
Monsters Inc. They was consuming kids' screams.
Yeah, and what's Monsters Inc? The same thing. They're consuming kids' screaming to light up the town. That's the energy that
it turned into a positive though. They started making kids laugh.
They did,
then, you know what
but
I'm
guess
saying?
what?
They were still kids. All right,
but you know, it's still kids. This is the premise. They showed it underhandedly, but we took it as it's a plot. But then the other one is how he said media, like it's television. Well, I don't want to get too deep. Y'all don't think I'm crazy, but anyways, The Ring. What's The Ring? The Ring shows you. He said The Ring shows you what the intent behind movies are. What's The Ring? If you put in this disc, if you put in this tape, they watch this little whale, and she calls out the whale, and then she hunts you. And it's the same thing. You don't know what they prayed before they was on set, before they released the movie, and their prayers will manifest if you're weak in the spiritual realm. So when you think of it that way, it's like, oh, I'm gonna be real cognizant about what I watch. I'm gonna be cognizant about what my kids watch and what I watch in my house. We don't watch scary movies in the house, bro. We don't even watch movies.
You got me scared to watch movies now, bro.
But when
I'm a movie connoisseur, you know what I'm saying? I watch any and every movie that's out there. But I think me personally, I think I'm strong enough to.
If you pay attention, I would suggest don't watch no scary movie though.
Well,
I done heard actually say don't watch scary movies.
So yeah, I mean I do scary movies, but I don't like. So I'm huge on possessions, exorcisms. I don't like those type of movies. Anything with spirits, because I believe in spirits. I don't fool with that. So like the Haunting in Connecticut, the Conjuring.
I used to watch them too, bro. It's crazy.
Even honestly, the Ring. You just mentioned the Ring. That was kind of spirit movie too. You know what I'm saying? But like I don't with the Witch Blair, the Blair Witch Chronicles or something like that. Like I don't. All the demonic spirits and things like that, I don't fool with those type of movies. But I'll do a Scream, you know what I'm saying? Or
that's funny though.
Scream is funny. That's scary movie.
No, I'm thinking about scary movie.
Yeah.
I just thought about the face.
Scream is just like, you know what I'm saying? That's serial killer vibes, or you know, I don't do conjurings or you know things of that nature, exorcisms, and I don't do anything based on true stories as far as scary movies. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre was the first movie I've seen that was based on a true story, but it was like you know he already got killed, you know, so he good, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know how, you never know how true that really is, though. So those type of movies I don't really deal with, just because of, again, those spirits, man. I believe in spirits, good and bad. So I don't even want that on. I don't want it on me. You know,
I'm even say this in
like
movies.
Say, devil get up out of me. I don't want none of that on me.
In movies, if I hear people saying or speaking in a language I don't know, I'll mute the TV. You ain't finna pray nothing over me. I don't know. If I don't know what you're saying, ain't no subtitle. You can be using a spell right now.
So what if it's a totally different language, like not Spanish, but like, you know,
I'm telling
Japanese?
I can't understand it anyway. I'm reading the subtitles. I'm gonna mute it. I'm gonna read. All right.
You say no reason to be watching anyway. Okay, that's
it's certain scenes that I see on TV. I'll fast forward it.
Yeah.
When I was in my abstinency, me and my wife will We used to watch the Game of Thrones.
Okay, yeah.
But
oh my
I never
gosh.
knew.
There's a lot.
I never
it's
seen
a lot
it.
of. It's a lot of succulent activity.
Yeah,
In
and
there
I told
too.
her, I was like, we got to stop watching this show because I haven't seen a boob in a long time. I haven't seen. They got my mind thinking that I didn't turn this off. So then we put Ozark on, Ozark, a cartel movie. But it just shows like how sensitive our spirit is, bro. Like back in the day when porn was a thing for me, it would be Twitter. I would see some on Twitter, and then that night I find myself acting out on what I saw. It's like it all correlates, bro. Like it's a spiritual thing, bro.
The Twitter get man.
Yeah, man, hey, Twitter after dark, whatever they call it, after night.
Here, wow.
You act like you weren't on it too, man.
I
wouldn't even be on it. I just be on my timeline. Like, interesting.
Come up for sure on time.
Then I had to turn it off, but it already impregnated my mind. So now I acted out later.
So planting those seeds, man, into your spirit, whether it's succulent videos, or succulent movies, demonic movies, man, you just gotta be careful. Even music, as you said, man, you just gotta be careful on what you're feeding your spirit, man, what you're feeding yourself. There's so many other things out there that people don't know about as far as, educate. You can watch. There's nothing wrong with watching documentaries or anything educational. You know what I'm saying? But man, feeding your spirit the wrong thing, man. That's huge as well, man. That goes back to I was saying about suicide and things like that, man. Just things that your brain is kind of influenced by. You just gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful. That's huge, man. So, at this point, man, we kind of getting to the end. But one thing that I usually do, or that I'm gonna be doing, man, is what is a message that you have? What's a message that Linell Bonner has for somebody out there that hasn't gone through their transition or may be going through a transition right now? What's a message, man, that you got?
I'm gonna give one, and I've been looking for a platform to share this because it doesn't typically come up in my speeches because it doesn't necessarily align with my speeches.
Yeah.
But one day I will.
So you've been looking for that platform and you find it.
Yeah, so I'm honest. Now I can say, and I knew he was going to ask me that.
So you found that platform now. Yeah, I'm glad I can do that for you, man.
And I was like, I hope he asked me what takeaway. Sure. I'm gonna get this takeaway.
Yeah.
I'll give one. It's a dream that I had.
Okay.
It's a dream that I had 2 years ago, but I think it's very profound and it'll resonate with everybody because we oftentimes find ourselves in a situation, whether it's, early in life, late in life, whatever, in our seasons. It's fear, walking in fear.
Okay.
A lot of us, I believe every.
So what does fear stand for?
False evidence appearing real.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on, I be in my books, bro.
Okay. Yeah.
But on that, it's exactly you're gonna see my story. So imagine I'm walking into my parents' house. This is the dream now. I'm walking to my parents' house. My parents' house is down the street to the right. Okay. You got to turn right. I'm walking this way. I have to turn right. So as I'm walking this way, it's a man with this big old dog. I mean, huge dog walking towards me.
Yeah.
Now I'm black. So when you see a big dog, I don't care. You looking for the nearest car. So I'm like, all right, what can I jump on just in case it's big, he get off the leash.
Yeah.
Because the man not looking at me, but the dog is. So I bust the right to go to my parents' house. And as I turn right, I hear barking. I look back, dog off the leash. So I already spotted my car. So I jump on the car. It's like a low rider car. And he jumps on the car. I'm like, God, dog. So I jump on the truck. And I get on the truck. My hand slips off the truck. And he bites my arm. But when he bit my arm, I realized he didn't have any teeth. So when I realized he didn't have any teeth, I get off the truck and I walk.
It's a dream you had?
It's a dream.
Wow.
I walked to my house. So then I woke up and I was like, God, what did that mean? What did this dream mean? And when I heard back from him was, if you knew I removed the threat, wouldn't you walk in confidence? So oftentimes we are walking in fear. We pray for something, believe that God has removed the threat, believe that God, if it's in his will make a way. And when I think that way, bro, it just changes how I approach life. Bro, it's like, nah, God,
different perspective.
He took that threat away. So I'm good.
I like that, bro.
Yeah.
I really do. That's a very vivid dream,
bro.
too, man. Like it was visual. I don't really have dreams like that, bro. I don't know if that's that's just not my ordeal.
I typically don't, bro.
I'll be blank. But I heard they say, you know, if you don't think about your dreams in the first 7 seconds
You have to. I wake up and start thinking about it.
You forget about it for the rest. You know, it goes away forever. So that's. I guess I don't be thinking about my dreams. I guess. I mean,
you gotta wake. I didn't had a lot of. Recently, I have a routine in the morning that I know when the dreams will come. That sounds like I'm a pro. No, like if I when I said that out loud, bro, it's like that sound different. Like I'm saying I got a spiritual gift for dreams. I don't.
It could be, but I don't think I do. That either, though.
It could be. With that, but what I'm saying is like when I sleep, my nighttime rest, like from whatever time I go to sleep to when I wake up at 5. I don't remember those dreams. But what I typically do when I wake up is I do a walk. And on my walk, I either be praying, listening to a sermon, or listening to a self-development book. For 45 minutes, I walk up that street, 2 miles, walk. And then when I come home, I get in the word or I listen to a sermon. Like I have a routine. Okay. But then at 7, I'll take a nap for 2 hours. Usually when I take that nap, I have all these dreams.
Daydreaming for real.
So I don't know why it's that way, but that's what happens.
The true definition is daydreaming.
Nah, for real.
Sleeping during the day, having dreams.
Bro, I be sleeping, bro, speaking. Like not verbally, but like my mind, like on stage, talking. Like I be having
that's good, though,
dreams of me talking on stage.
That's what you do for a living, you know what I'm saying?
And I wake up, I be mid-sleep, wake up, and write that down. Okay. Make a note, now come back to it tomorrow and make it make sense. But like that's huge, good. No, man. I didn't think about that.
That's huge though, man. No, so you know, this world that we live in, man, is huge on, you know, obviously social media. You're on social media, right?
I am.
Not much, but you are on social media?
I am.
Okay. So so just tell the people where they can find you, man, on Instagram, and then you also have, you know, your motivational speeches. You have your company as well. Once an athlete.
Yep.
And honestly, I wanna in front of everybody too just say, man, keep doing what you're doing, man. Before you give them the IG and everything, just keep doing what you're doing. You're motivating and inspiring a lot of people out here. We had this conversation before I started this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just being transparent.
Yeah.
We had this conversation before, you know, I started this podcast, and I was actually fortunate enough to be a guest on Linell's podcast.
Yep. And
him doing that and opening a platform for athletes, man, just kind of opened up a door for me as well. Of course, I'm talking about something a little bit differently, and, you know, bringing a different feel to the platform itself, man. But before I even started this podcast, true story, I actually went to Bonner and actually, you know, told him, hey, man, you know, I have this idea. You know, what do you think about it? And usually, you know, you'll find people, sometimes even in your friend group, you know, you'll find people that tell you, oh, you know, you're doing a podcast just like me, or, you know, you're doing something I've already done, or, you know, even though it's different messages, you know, I don't think that's a good idea. You know what I'm saying? Kind of try to stray you away, man. God done his truth, man. You know, Bonner was like, bro, do it. You know, why not? You know what I'm saying? Do it. You know, the messages that people are getting from your podcast can save somebody's life. So if you don't do it, how do you know that, you know, you didn't impact somebody's life that needed you? You know what I'm saying? So, again, I want to say thank you, bro. I'm very grateful for a brother and a friend like you, man. That was huge, again, into the development of this podcast. So I definitely want to thank you again. That's also a reason why I made you the first episode. You know what I'm saying? So this is episode 1. Yeah, man. So just tell them about the socials, man, and where they can find you on social media, man.
You can find me on social media under Bone, 3 E's and underscore. I gotta change that because someone said Boney. I was like, no, it's Bone, 3 E's underscore. Someone took the one with just 1 E.
It's all good because I'm gonna put it on the bottom of the screen anyway, so it's all good.
Or once an athlete underscore. Okay. Once an athlete underscore too.
Okay. So so this is something too, man, that I, you know, may walk in later on. I've never been huge on speaking in the first place. I've always been good.
He'll be speaking soon.
See, and everybody keep telling me that.
He'll be speaking soon.
I've always been a conversationalist. I can talk all day. You know what I'm saying? I can hold a conversation. I've always been really good at that. As far as motivational speaking, man, what are some tidbits you have for me?
You already possess one of the good skills of a speaker. I ain't gonna say motivational speaker, but you possess one of the skills. The way you talk, your cadence is it's very thought out.
Okay.
The only other person, well, not only other person, but someone that I can really point that talks that way is Javin.
Okay.
Javin talks real thought out. like when y'all talk, you're thinking, but you
Mhm.
pause. You do these pauses in between that gets people to want to listen more. When I started speaking one-on-one, I normally talk that way.
Mhm.
When you on stage, it's different.
It's totally different. Yeah.
It's different when you're on stage. Cause one-on-one, I can feel your energy right now. But when you're on
Yeah.
stage, it's a separation between you and the crowd. It's
It's
so
a
many
bunch of
energies. It's
different
like
energies.
it's too many
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
And then you have that one person that's having a side conversation.
Mhm. You try to blank that out while they having that side conversation.
I had a person yawn. Oh boy, that hurt. That boy said,
You said
I was
it
like,
hurt.
dang. It
So
was my
my
second
boy,
speech. I was
you
like,
know,
golly.
I would have called him out right then. Am I boring to you?
I should have.
Am I boring to you, sir? Is that what's going on?
All you need is a message and confidence.
Yeah.
Because everybody has a message, but not everybody has that confidence to get on stage. So if you have confidence to get on stage, bro, you're not going to learn unless you do it. You can't sit on the sidelines and say, I want to be something or do something and never practice. Like, you got to know that you might fail.
Yeah.
But in failing, like they say, L's to the lesson, like, you're going to learn.
Yeah, that's always,
Like,
bro. We don't take L's, bro. It's always a lesson.
I didn't went up there and I tried to close the speech and I said something. And I literally, first big speech, said something. And in my mind, it went blank. Blank.
Yeah.
I'm talking about not a thought. You know how SpongeBob was in that File Cabinet channel?
Yeah.
Blank. And I just looked at everybody. I was like, okay. Put the mic down. Bro, it was bad. I was like, God, dog, what did I just gave this good speech and then they're gonna remember that. But I learned from that. So when I went home, I was like, okay, I need to close this way. I need to make sure I give a point and then just get my butt off the stage.
Yeah.
Like, don't linger around. They clap and get off the stage.
Yeah.
So
you won.
But
you get the clapping, you won. Yeah.
I would just say the best thing I could say for advice for a speaker would be you just having the conversation. When you initially get up there, for some people, not everybody, your mind does go blank, and it's good to have reps in of speaking in front of people. So like Cat Williams said with comedians, they practice their material on their friends.
Repetition is the father of all learning, man.
You know,
I say it all the time.
Whatever's in you gonna come out of you. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So if you live by what you're saying, when you get on stage and your mind goes blank, you'll still regurgitate what's really on your heart. So just live it and talk about something that you actually do. Don't go up there and BS.
Yeah.
They can tell.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you for being on, man. That's actually wrapping up our time now.
Perfect time.
But until next time, man, this is your host, Linell Bonner, and this is another episode of Athlete Aftermath. Y'all have a good one.